All right, so lots to dig into. Want to get into the album, the big show at the Whiskey, look backwards, look forwards a little bit with you. And 10 years, 10 long years. You made us wait, but certainly worth the wait. And Last Night on Earth came out. Great album. Kind of curious. Walk me through it. We got Adrenaline. And I knew we were off to a good start, but then it took a little bit longer. Was it material? Was it just time because you guys were out on the road so much? What was that delay in getting the album actually out?
Yeah, it's funny because we would just work on these ideas and try to improve them, and then a year would go by, and we'd maybe come up with a new idea, but then try to revisit the older ideas. Then another year would go by, and and we do, we are a band that does like to tour, so we never really took, a big long break or anything. Throughout those years, we found that like the remote stuff was not, and it still doesn't really do it for us. We have to get together. But push came to shove, and it was like, all right, listen, some time has gone by. We have to get these ideas to a place where we love them, and put out a record. And of course, that took some time. It took too much time, but we finally got there. So I'm very proud of the result. But I do apologize for the wait.
Well, I'm sure it's nice kind of in this day and age now. You can, it's not as strict as it used to be where, record, tour, record, tour. Like there's a lot more freedom in this new world order that we're living in the way the music game is today.
Yes, you're right, and I appreciate the bailout. But we if you value your career, my advice would be don't blow through all the deadlines. Maybe one or two, but please don't. It's just not good for you, and like you're and any sort of, if you consider your band to be like your business and your source of income, like speed it up a bit. Speed it up a little tiny bit. That would be, now that I've gone through this 10-year process, just it needs to go a little faster next time.
I mean, yeah, and that begs the question. I mean, usually, like I was saying in the old system, there's a tour, there's a deadline, something that's pushing the record out. When you have all the time, how do you know when something is done? Do you give it like the
Yeah.
car test? How do you know when it's like the final sign off? When everyone's happy?
Well, yes. I mean, that's the ideal. But I remember the first couple records. It was done when we ran out of studio time. Like that's it. It's like, okay, we can mess around with this forever. I mean, if you told me, all right, let's go and like revisit our second record, I would love to do those vocals again. But it's just that's not the reality. You get kicked out, like your
Right.
budget is gone, and the result is what's at the end of the studio time. So that is the almost exact opposite of the newest album that we put out. We took our time like crazy, but yeah, definitely. Um, we're happy with it. We're happy with the response that we're getting, and to wait this long, it had better, it better have been something good,
Worth
or
it.
else we'd
Yeah.
be in real trouble.
Definitely worth it. And it makes things a lot easier when you guys are self-producing and Steve handling most of the duties, right?
Steve is the drummer, but the producer in the band, like he doesn't even consider himself the drummer really. His first job is, like the creative direction now. And of course, being the new guy who's been in the band for like 13 years or something crazy.
Right.
But I do like working with him. I've clashed with producers in the past, but Steve is, with when it comes to vocals, like he just gives me space, and he'll give me, directions where it's like, okay, listen, you got to do that a little slower, or like relax, or like what about this phrase. And it's when producers start talking about like lyrics and phrasing, I can bristle a little bit. But I trust Steve 100%, and our working relationship is and has been really, really sweet. And he's a guy that the rest of the band likes to take a whole bunch of breaks. As far as like we'll put a couple hours of work in, and maybe it's time to go eat, and maybe it's time to go take a break. And he typically never wants to do that. He'll just go until you let him.
And if Adrenaline was the first song written for the album, I hear Cold Concrete was one of the last.
Yeah, because Cold Concrete was on a hard drive somewhere, and it was a song that we were just kind of combing through, like, okay, are there any ideas that we've missed? Can we improve on these? And there was something about the groove that was like, okay, this could be something special, but I listened to it, with a few years distance from when I originally wrote it, and I did not like how negative it was. So
Hmm.
I thought, if we're gonna dig this up, I need to do a full lyric rewrite, and so I did. It was not easy, but I thought this song deserves better, And when you revisit these ideas, and sometimes those things will nag at you, like, is the verse good enough? Like, is there you want to do something else? And so I finally got the song to where I wanted it to be, but it was not a not a verse overhaul, like completely, a big tone change, and trying to sort of put a more positive spin on the song.
Those lyrics are very like visual too. Like the opening lyrics kind of almost makes me think of
Yeah.
like American History X.
Yeah, it's a little jarring. I know, but even so, thank goodness there's more of a positive element to that song. I won't let you hear the demo. It's a total downer.
One other song that grabbed me more on the musical end, and probably more of a question for James or Rick, but Perfect Effigy. I'm a sucker for whammy bars. Is that a whammy bar at the beginning of that?
I think it is. This is the singer talking.
Right,
I'm not sure, but it is. That part was one of the last parts to write.
right.
It's always neat when you can attach like a very unique intro to a song. Those can be special moments. But yeah, we're very excited to play that live, but we have not yet. We have not worked it out, but we plan to very soon.
And the one last track I wanted to hit you up about, Blue Sky Mystery, and certainly a cool tune. And then even cooler when you throw Richard Patrick's voice on there, filter it. I mean, his voice juxtaposed to yours is really cool. It's almost like duct tape being ripped off a forearm, like when he starts screaming.
It's so cool to listen to Richard Patrick on one of our songs. I remember, they finished the session, like Steve and Richard had to do it remotely, but I got to talk to him about the song beforehand, and he liked the song, and he just kind of wanted to get a feeling for where the song was coming from, and I didn't have to do any of the work. I just got to listen to the result. And I think a really tough trick is to interpret somebody else's lyrics, and even the way they're singing them. And it sounds like Richard Patrick wrote it. He sounds so comfortable and just made the song cooler. And it's a risk, right? Like, we don't have a whole lot of other what extraneous or like outside artists on our stuff, so this was a big risk for us, even though we were very excited that Richard Patrick agreed to do this. But really special moment. I love how it turned out.
Yeah, and that's another one I'm hoping to hear live. I was going to get into the big show at the Whisky A Go Go coming up on June 28th, and imagining what, three, four, five new songs in the set.
Well, yes. Now, but we're also aware, we like playing the new stuff, but we know that we have to play um uh some of the stuff from the older catalog. So it's not just going to be, despite how excited we are about the new record, we are going to play some vintage, some classic stuff as well, quite a bit of it. But yeah, you'll hear a solid mix.
I'm looking forward to it. And speaking of the whiskey, curious, do you remember the first time you went to the whiskey, whether it was playing it or just attending a show there?
I just have a memory of grabbing a drink there, and it had such a unique atmosphere, and I thought, man, this is kind of living up to the hype for me. This is a really cool night, and we don't visit you that often over there, so coming back is very special for us, and I hope that magic is still there.
It is, and I mean, I feel like there's magic on the walls in that place. It just oozes out of there. And when you come through SoCal, is there any must-haves, any food or drink, any tacos or any Mexican food you got to get, any craft beer or anything like that? Anything that's on like the checklist when you roll through SoCal?
Well, I'm always interested to check out the local IPAs, so I'll do my
Mm.
best. I mean, that's the only thing I ask for on my rider, just like a handful of local IPAs, so that's fun. Um, and I had the very best fish taco where I can't even remember where I was, but I was in California, and I try to replicate it at home. You know, it was very simple, but it was more like it was like fried fish with like tartar sauce, tomatoes, lettuce, and maybe something else, maybe some very special pico de gallo or something.
Right.
But I had one, and then I immediately went back to the whatever food truck I found and picked up another one, put it in the bus fridge for later, you know, because we were leaving. But yeah, I want to do that, and then I like to go and hang out at any local pinball spot that I can find. I've
Ah.
got like an app that'll show me like where all the pinball machines are. So if I'm lucky, I get to go and find, you know, like and there's all kinds on the West Coast, probably more than anywhere else. So I got a big checklist, but you know, you got to play. You know, my mind will be on the show first.
Well, I hope you have a Vegas stop on this tour. I didn't look at the whole itinerary because they have the whole pinball museum out there.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I've been there a couple times, so I'll probably go back again.
You just need a finger 11 pinball now, right?
Yeah, you know, come on.
That'd be
That would
amazing.
be that would probably be it. Like if Finger Eleven got its own pinball machine, I think we got to stop. It's like we have reached the pinnacle. That's it.
That's the apex. Retire now. Dude, I appreciate all the time. And last couple of things I want to hit you with. Super looking forward to a headline set. Saw you, what, a few years ago now in the summer of '99 tour, the big Glen Helen show at the end of August. I think it was the last date of the tour and probably the biggest one on the tour. And what a hell of a lineup. And certainly want to remember the late, great Brad Arnold, who we've lost since then.
Yep. Yep. I mean, it's hard to believe, but you know, if you ever hung out with him, you know that he just exuded kindness and positivity. And you know, that's just not always the case when you're hanging out with, you know, bands that are kind of larger than life. But oh man, he was the real deal, and you know, I know everybody misses him quite a lot.
Yeah, and not just to focus on the negative, but some good times and reconnecting with the Creed guys as well must have been fun.
I mean, that's neat, right? Because they had come back bigger and better than ever, which I think every band would love for that to happen. But it's just that doesn't, you know. And then you know, once you see them play, it's fantastic. But the best part of the show is looking at the crowd and how elated everyone was. Just you know, whether it's coming to them for the first time or like people sort of with you know one foot in like the nostalgic past, but like just an awesome big rock concert. It was great to be part of that because you know we opened up the show and people were very very kind to us, and that's not always the case either. Sometimes you got to sort of work to get them on your side, but it was a very fun and easy tour in that sense.
And you, like you had said, vindication for Creed, who took a lot of crap undeservedly. So it's nice that they kind of are waving, smiling in the end.
Well, I think it's the music that kind of took them all the way through, man. You know, it's neat when like a piece of music stands up to the test of time, and you know here they are. So kudos to them.
Yeah, man. Appreciate all the time. Last couple of things I wanted to hit you with. Speaking of the music that stands the test of time, I talked to Rick on Jacket on the when you before you guys did that run and talking about Paralyzer, and you said you had kind of brought that in, and lyrically that's kind of when it all came together. And I'm curious for you, was that written first person or third person? Was that kind of something that you had experienced, or kind of just an imaginary character, or maybe someone that a friend told you, a story a friend told you, or something like that?
Well, I think sometimes you know the song will either will have maybe a character attached to it, or maybe perhaps have some real emotions from me. But that song "Paralyzer" was a reaction to the music that the guys had sent me. You know, they they were like, "Oh yeah, check this piece of music out," and I listened to it and I thought, well, okay, what is it we're doing here? What is this like disco? Like what's happening in this? This sounds like a place that I'm not cool enough to be at. Right? Like so that's where I'm most comfortable as far as writing, you know, ironically. So I thought, well, that's kind of a fun way to that's a fun way in. I'm not going to pretend I'm cool enough to sort of, I don't know, uh, live in this legitimately. So I wrote for not longer than a couple hours. I've got the workbook somewhere. It's a handful of pages, and it didn't really change. Um, but yeah, like I think it's that song. You know, had we known, maybe I would have taken a little more care of with the lyrics. I don't know. You know, it's just we knew it was there was something neat about it, but far be it from us to we couldn't have known it would have been our biggest hit, by far. But I'm happy that that's what happened.
Yeah, and 20 years later, and it's still everywhere and all over the radio and everything. It's amazing.
Well, it's nice because we came by it honestly, and we love the song, and there's not some sort of weird story about there's. It's just that I think sometimes bands end up playing songs where like they kind of they're over it, and a 20-year-old song has a little bit of wear on it, but I love singing it live so much because I just feed off the energy. I always get the energy back, and so that'll bring you right back into it as if it's first time you ever sang it. So I love it.
Love it, man. Appreciate the time. Last thing I got for you, and I mentioned I talked to Rick, and I asked him the same question. So I'm curious where you fall on this one. We are an old school radio station. We do a feature called Mandatory Metallica every night at 10 p.m. And having this little Metallica debate, and I asked Rick this question and see where you fall in. It's real simple. It's album 2 versus album 3. Ride the Lightning versus Master of Puppets, if you had to choose one out of those two.
Where is see, this is I don't want to show my ass too much, but where is For Whom the Bell Tolls? What's that
Ride
on?
the Lightning. Ride the
Okay,
Lightning.
we got to take that. Every time I play Metallica pinball, I put For Whom the Bell Tolls on. So, I was a drummer before I was a singer, and we would get
Ah,
together like our high school friends, and we met this bass player who was like, "Well, I can play For Whom the Bell Tolls," and so I had to try to figure out how to play that on the drums, and I was very bad at it, but my heart was in the right place. But yeah, that's that'll be my pick.
interestingly enough, Rick said the same thing. Ride the Lightning.
Wow. I mean, we agree on a lot of stuff, but man, it's when we don't, there can be some fiery conversations, and it's that's its own fun. But cool.
Yeah, I mean, great that you guys did come down on the same sides. I mean, you guys grown up together. I mean, what, since high school?
Yep. Yep, since high school. I mean, I've known James even longer, maybe since I was about 14. And then I met Rick in high school. James went to a different one, and we met a real drummer in high school. So I was out of a gig, but we didn't have a singer. So I took that position, and so I've been holding that ever since. And then my brother became the bass player. So yeah, it's been the same lineup since its inception. Minus the new guy Steve, of course.
Yeah, for a decade plus ago.
Hmm. Hmm.
But crazy, man. Your high school band basically makes it.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, I was working at a gas station, and we were just sort of gigging anywhere we could, trying to like put cover songs together. We got kind of tired of that, and then put some originals together. We won a radio contest and really felt like we'd made it. Little did we know, like that was the beginning of things. And I mean, it was all my friends were doing this. Like all my friends had bands, and they were all very, very good. The fact that we made it through is incredible. Like, yes, we persevered, but the amount of luck that it took to get here, I mean, I just I don't take it for granted, and I'm glad I still love doing it. And there's nothing feels like singing, and nothing, especially with your friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. And crazy that you mentioned the playing drums first. I feel like drummers make the best singers. I mean, look at Metallica, James Hetfield's a drummer. Look at Steven Tyler of Aerosmith. Like all these drummers that make really good singers. I haven't figured out the Rubik's cube behind that, but there seems to be a ton of drummers that make really good singers. I don't know what that's about yet.
That's kind of neat. I mean, I wouldn't, I was a fan of drums. I was never very good, but again, I'll get another set of drums one of these days, and I'll try to improve.
Same, man. I played drums until I realized I was better off playing other people's music on the radio rather than mine. And when music got complicated, when it went from 4/4 to like Metallica and double bass and stuff, I was like, all
Yeah.
right, I'm tapping out here.
Yep.
Just to put a button on it, man. What song can we play for you on Mandatory Metallica? Would it be For Whom the Bell Tolls?
Yeah, let's stick with that.
Thank you so
Beautiful.
much for the time. Thank you for
Yeah,
the
too.
killer album, and I can't wait for that whiskey show. Maybe I'll get to say hi to you there.
Oh, that would be fucking great, man. Well, thanks so much.
Thanks. Safe travels until then. Bye
All
bye.
right, we'll see you.